What is up, guys? Welcome back. It's time. Our old friend, Edius McPhilius, whatever his name may be, has sadly passed away, and it's time to raise a new badass Digi baby. Now, I know what egg we're going to pick. You guys are going to find out in just a second, and when we come back, we are going to kick the shit out of this game. Alright guys, we back. Now, rather than spend some time talking here, I am going to pick which egg it is that I want to pick, and then we will start talking, because this screen does my absolute head in. So, I am going to pick an egg, and you guys are going to be like, Jack, what the fuck? But we have some explaining to do, so sit tight, and we'll chit-chat about this in just a second. Now, we've just said goodbye to our boy, Ed. It was a fantastic journey with Ed. He'd done a lot of good stuff for us, and we're really proud of him. We messed up his name very regular. On the regular did we mess up his name, but that all changes with this little guy. So, because Ed's legacy is done, it is, and it's in a good place, we're going to leave it there. We're going to rename this guy. So, I want a new name. And this time, we're going to call this guy what we were going to call Ed last time, but we changed it the last second. We're going to go for it this time around. So, this guy is going to be given the name Todd. Now, we are going to try and call Todd as much as possible, right? We're not going to fucking mess up Todd's name, right? That's going to be the absolute last thing we want to do. But, again, we have so much to talk about, so I'm going to fill you guys in just a second what's happening. But there's a couple of things we need to do first of all. So, we're going to talk to Angemon, and we're going to pick up something very important. So, many moons ago in the ancient Dino region, we went to a vending machine and we picked up this moldy meat. That's going to come into play in just a second. What you guys will find out through the course of this episode, that Todd is going to have a very unusual life. It's not going to be the same as Ed, where we forced him to become a Numemon and then forced him to then become a stuffed animal. That was a bit of a shame for Ed, but he embraced it and he was a baller. So Todd is going to have a similar lifestyle, but it is going to be of a lot more epic proportions. So let's pick up 10 small recoveries and pick up our shitty discount that we no, we don't want to buy one of those. We're going to pick up 10 MP floppies, and most importantly, we're going to pick up a shit ton of meat. Now, I actually think that we're kind of low on the porta potty front, so just for the sake of saving me some grief, we're going to pick up one of those, and that is us. Now, we're good. We are now, as mentioned very briefly at the end of the last episode, we're going to take Todd to Freezeland. Now, you might be thinking, Jack, are you out of your fucking mind? Why would you take a baby into Freezeland? Have you seen the enemies there? He's going to get absolutely wrecked. Now, we're not going to be doing fighting in Freezeland, and that's good to remember, because as soon as we get dropped off here from our friend Birdramon, we're going to get dumped into the lap of two Ice Huagamon or Devimons or whatever the fuck it is that's kicking about, so we're definitely going to dodge those guys. So, we avoided him, thank the Lord. Now, you will notice down in the bottom right hand side of your screen that Todd is struggling here. He doesn't like the cold. He's a baby. He needs to be somewhere nice and warm. So, to speed up the process of the thing that we are looking forward to happening, we are going to feed Todd one moldy meat. Now, again, you guys are like, Jack, what's happening here? Why are you ruining this little guy? Todd is going to get sick. And this is unfortunate, right? But there's a reason why we're doing this to our little friend here. So, we're actually going to wander around here. I don't want to wander past these guys because they look like they're going to get in my life and piss me off. So, we're going to avoid that shit as much as possible and just hang around this area, I guess. Now, we had a very quick look at an igloo here in Freezeland, but we didn't really talk about it much, mostly because John Cena in the last episode popped up out of nowhere and decided that he wanted to fight us. So, we got a quick snap at that. That igloo is going to come into play very soon. So, all we're doing here is just waiting to pass some time, and at some point, hopefully in the next few minutes, an interaction is going to happen. So, we have got other stuff that we're going to talk about for the episode, like why we have picked the same Digimon in our chart. You guys might have noticed that. But obviously, this was the evolution path that we took to get Max and Biomon, but this time we're not going to be going for Biomon, we're going to be going for another Digimon. Now, you guys are going to see what that is in a second. I guess we can feed Todd while we're here. Let's feed him a Digimushroom, why not? And we'll see if this makes him happy. Are you good with that, buddy? Are you good with that? Alright, okay, so we're fed, but we are still ill. We are going to keep walking and see if we can get this thing to proc. because there is some things that we're going to address in a little second, but and I have notes for that to keep me, because I had so much stuff that I wanted to chat to you guys about, but we have to wait on this to happen, because the things that I'm going to discuss, I don't want to get interrupted by this this scene when it happens. So let's wander over here, and right on schedule, Todd, what's going on? So Todd's obviously sick. He's not liking this place at all, and he's going to pass out here in the ice caps, right in between all of these ice fucking Digimon. But who is this? Who is this, you might wonder? We are inside that igloo from last episode, believe it or not. Where are we? Is this a dream? Dude, why is Jack Frost the Snowman standing across from us? Whoa, who are you? Where is Todd? Todd's right behind you, you numbnuts. Calm down, my name is Frigimon, this is my house, and I am an ice snow Digimon. You're out in the cold there, and I picked you up and took care of you. So Todd has actually been revived by our friend Frigimon here. Of the cousins of the chocolate Frigimon in the plains of Mount whatever it's called, this guy is actually super friendly, and he actually gave us a little helping hand, so bit of respect there. Hey Todd, I even hit my head when you suddenly fell down. Yeah, okay, whatever. Poyomon can't stand the cold, you're so reckless and it's all your fault. Well, I guess that's kind of true. We did take him to the Chilean mountains of Freezeland. I didn't know, I'm sorry Todd. We kind of did know, but yeah. Thanks Frigimon, can I ask you one favour? What would you do if Poyomon falls down again? You better go home soon. Alright, I got it. I'll Digivolve Todd into another Digimon. So, with that, we are going to leave Frigimon in his little hut. Frigimon doesn't know what Digivolve is, apparently. I don't want to get a battle here. Alright, okay. So now Frigimon's door is actually open to us. And at some point in the future, we can come back here with our newly Digivolved Todd, right? And when we speak to Frigimon, when we have a Digimon who can stand the cold, maybe we can consider inviting him to the city. So, for now, we can leave Frigimon because Poyomon is still Poyomon. Let's go pick up our meat for the day and chat all about what we're going to be doing with Todd. So, it's not tomorrow yet. Okay, we must have done that in the last episode. So, a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. So, first of all, last episode, I feel like it was kind of, not meh, but it was another filler episode, right? A lot of you guys probably saw that. We raised a bit of funds for Todd here. Actually, I kind of thought it was like a college fundraising episode where we were basically just grinding money solely for the sake of having a lot of funds when this guy popped around. So we're just going to do a bit of training here to pass some time and get this guy Digivolve, which should be pretty soon, I would imagine. We also encountered Piximon in the arena, right? So that was like one of the highlights of the episode, in my opinion. But obviously, as you guys saw, Piximon had his wicked ways with us. Now, obviously, we're not like going to let that stand, guys, right? Piximon might have won the second round of our relationship with him, right? We beat him first time in his home in the jungle, and then he won the rematch. But that's not. We're not going to leave that there, right? Piximon's day will come. I promise you guys. We're going to kick the shit out of his ass later on, and deal with that when the time comes. So we arranged a date with Piximon, and we also picked up the rooster, right? Kokotorimon's Digivolution item. That was unexpected, but I guess it was kind of cool. For the most part, though... Oh, that was a funny noise. Ed was actually just helping us basically survive out our time and do a little bit of grinding. So, another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is that down in the comments, I asked your opinions for which Digimon you guys want to see next, right? Now, we have plans for Todd, and we're going to tie these into some of your guys' feedback, right? So, Digivolution time? Nope, not yet. Okay, cool. So, we had an overwhelming majority for a couple of Digimon, right? First and foremost, Megadramon. Totally love that idea, guys, right? Respect that idea, that's awesome. Other options were, well, predominantly, a lot of you guys wanted to see Skull Greymon. Now, I have had one Skull Greymon in my life, and it was from Metal Greymon, okay? Now, if you lose a life as Metal Greymon, there's a 10% chance you just instantly Digivolve into Skull Greymon, right? Other than that, I have never raised a Skull Greymon from stats alone, and I think that would be pretty sick to do. So, here's what we're going to do with Todd here. I have got some plans for this guy, and we are going to get our ways to a extremely badass ultimate. Now, looking at Metal Greymon's stats, right? Skull Greymon's stats, they are pretty insane. And we are basically going to work our way towards those, but there's a couple of things that we need to talk about and why Skull Greymon is particularly a particularly tough Digimon to raise, alright? I'm actually just going to set this animation on to train, and then I can actually have full concentration, because I feel like I'm a blubbering wildebeest right now. Give me a sec. So, Todd's happy, we're happy. Alright, training time. Now, Skull Greymon, guys, what we could do is, first of all, his stats are insanely high to get, right? Now, I'm not saying they're out with our reach. I think we could manage it. Dude, we're going to have to put you on a quiet training piece of apparatus because you're doing my nothing. Alright, on here. Please don't squeak. Alright, he's going to boing, but anyway. Now, I think we could get Skull Greymon's stats, but there's a lot of things that we need to talk about, right? First of all, you guys might say, but Jack, when we raised Max, right, we raised Phoenixmon, and we managed to get Phoenixmon, even though we were nowhere close to the stats. Can't we do the same with Skull Greymon? Now, the answer to that question is yes, but the other thing about that is, if we were to raise a Skull Greymon on other things other than stats, right? We're talking weight, we're talking battles, we're talking cure mistakes. There's a couple of things here that are kind of make this a little bit more tricky than Phoenixmon, okay? So first and foremost, you need plus 10 cure mistakes. So if we don't hit all of our stat requirements, we would have to make our Digimon, whoever it is at the time, our champion Digimon, have plus 10 cure mistakes. Now, I'm not completely against cure mistakes, as you guys know, but I also don't really like it that much. Another thing, you would have to have 40 plus battles as your champion Digimon. Now, you guys know that passing or fighting battles in this game passes time, right? Unlike Next Order, it doesn't freeze time, and therefore, if you were to spend a lot of time doing battles, you're going to be cutting into your time that you could be training, right? So, as we've just discussed, the requirements for Skull Greymon are extremely high, but then we would also need to do battles. Now, we don't need to do both. That's like the trade-off, I guess. If we're not going for perfect stats, we would have to do the battles instead. But then on top of that, you also need a bunch of techniques. Now, if we look at our skills chart real quick, right? I'm doing a lot of waffling here, guys, but I'm just trying to talk you through a couple of things. We actually have around about 26 abilities. Now, if we were to hit one of the bonus conditions for Skull Greymon, we need round about 40. I think it's 40 battle techniques, so we're nowhere close to that front. So basically, we have two choices, right? We can try and hit Skull Greymon's Digivolution through stats alone, right? Or, which is really difficult, or we could do all these other silly things, plus 10 cure mistakes, 40 battles, and we wouldn't have to do the techniques as well. That's like a trade-off. But what I'm trying to say is that it would be extremely difficult to land this guy, right? So my plan is, and this is what I'm thinking, this is what I think would be a good idea to do, right? We're going to be hitting up the mansion soon, and therefore we need a virus Digimon. So if we can't make it to Skull Greymon just now, we are going to go for something else, probably Megadramon. Now, I will make you guys the promise that if we do... Let's go and rest. Oh, perfect. We actually need to go to sleep. Cool. Let's go to sleep here. If we go for Skull Greymon and we don't manage it, we definitely will come back to Skull Greymon at some point in this playthrough. Now, when we are working towards that, if we don't raise them this time, there's a couple of bonuses for doing that, right? First and foremost, as you guys, well, yeah, a lot of you guys might figure this out already, but if we were to raise an ultimate that isn't Skull Greymon this time around, we would be able to fill out our chart a little bit, which isn't really important, I know, but we could also raise money, we could clear the mansion, we could pick up all of the stat chips that are inside the mansion, because there's a lot of items to pick up inside there that are actually really useful for us. That could help us in our road to Skull Greymon in the future. We could also... Probably one of the most important stats is if we were to raise another ultimate before Skull Greymon, we would also manage to get our tamer level up a little bit, which is quite huge, okay? That's quite important. So, these are just some of the things that I'm throwing about at you guys. We can aim for Skull Greymon, but at the same time, if we need to pull out and basically go for... Okay, it's not tomorrow yet, apparently. Oh shit, because it's baby, okay. If we go for something else first, then that is why we're doing that, right? But here, listen close, guys. I promise you guys that we will go for a Skull Greymon in this playthrough. If we don't do it this time, we will definitely try and aim to get it next time or the time after that. Most likely, it will be next time, okay? So that is my thought process to you guys on that. I know that was a very, very long-winded rant, and probably half of you guys have already fell asleep, but that is just some of the stuff that we're going to be doing. So, you might be thinking, right, Jack, what rookie are we going for just now? And the answer to that question, if I check my notes real quick, Just give me a second. Alright guys, sorry, I just wanted to check something real quick. Now there's two options to come out of Pokemon. Obviously we've done Biomon before. We're going to go for the other one. You guys are going to see what that is in just a little second once this guy Digivolves. So I think we might actually have another day left with this little fellow. So we're just going to be grinding out some stats a little bit and aiming towards the rookie that we want. So other than that, we're just going to be doing our usual stuff. Let me just check the meat farm real quick. I don't know if this is actually the fresh day. There's a strong possibility that we're still in yesterday. Who knows? Oh no, we got it. Awesome. Cool. And we're not yet in the new year. That shit's coming in around soon, so we need to keep an eye on that stuff as well. So I have some funky ideas for this guy once he becomes champion. And rather than spoil that, I'll basically just leave it until that time comes. And we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. Now, some of it I have never done before in my life. And you guys are going to see that basically when it happens. For now, though, what I think we'll do is we'll finish training this guy up a little bit. And we will cut to when this guy's going to Digivolve. Because if it's not this time, it will be soon. And hopefully we'll save you guys some time. See you guys in just a little second. Alright guys, we're back straight away almost for you guys. It's Digivolution time. Now the apparatus that we were training on, the gym equipment, was brains, offense and HP. Let's see if Tokamon is going to turn into the Digimon that I was aiming for. And from here, you guys are going to see what our plans are in the future. Nailed it. Okay, awesome. So, if you guys didn't already guess this from the brain training, we have went for a Patamon. So Todd is now a Patamon. Well, let's have a look at this guy in the chart. So, we could have had Biomon or Patamon. We've now fulfilled both those requirements, which is pretty awesome. Patamon has 6 potential Digivolution items, or Digivolution options rather. And we are going to go for one of them in particular. Now, again, I could probably tell you guys, because you might actually have an idea. You might be thinking, well, if he's went Patamon, surely he's going to go for something very similar to Patamon. Now, I'll let you guys mull that over for a little bit. And for the time being, we need to do some training. Now, when we do our training this time around, we need to make sure that our MP hits 1,000 and our brains are over 100. But other than that, we have to behave ourselves. So, again, if we're putting our brains up, maybe you guys will know where we're going with this. So, let us do a bit more training and we can chat a bit more about this. Now, Patamon knows or uses a bunch of wind abilities, right? So we actually have a bunch of those, which is kind of useful. And if we look at that in here, he will obviously have his little rubbish ones, but for the most part, he's fighting in wind, which is kind of cool. I guess being a slight descendant of the Digimon we used to go into Phoenixmon, that kind of makes sense, right? So, by training MP, we actually put our defense up as well. I'm actually going to take a trip down to Centaurmon and rest a little bit because I haven't actually done that today. And then before we know it, it's going to be nighttime and our first day is going to be up with this little guy. Now, at some point, we could actually return to Mojimon in Freezeland and piece back a bunch of his items that he's still waiting on. Remember, in last episode, we did the trading. So there's a bunch of those guys that are waiting there. But as we discussed in last episode, there is also, I think, an inclination for us to wait until the new year rolls around. Now, by that time, Todd will hopefully be a champion and we'll have a bit more flexity in roaming the plains of Gear Savannah. We can go buy some Digimon cards, we can go visit Shogun Gekomon, and we can hopefully pick up some of the things that we need in order to trade with Mojimon. Mainly being the black trout in the Dragon's Eye Lake when we go fishing. We need a good rod for that. Don't need, but it would make my life a lot easier. I don't want to be pissed off when I'm playing. And we also have access to the giant meat from the store in Gear Savannah as well. So that's what we're going to be doing for Mojimon for the time being. But for now, we're just going to be mostly hanging about in the gym, figuring out our Digivolution path, and eventually moving on to doing those things. And also the mansion, which I'm super stoked for. And hope you guys are as well, because there's a lot of badass things going on in the mansion. Some of it and not all of it is happy things. So you guys will see that when it rolls around. But a lot of you guys were also asking down in the comments, and this is really cool. I actually enjoyed reading this feedback. A lot of you guys were wondering when we are going to forward the story into the quote-unquote late game. Now, some of you guys will know what late game means, and some of you guys won't know what late game means, right? I am super stoked for that when it rolls around, again. But what we're going to do is finish off the mansion first, because after we do the mansion, there is very, very little to be done other than move into some of the final parts of the game. Now, it's not really final, it's more just further in the plot to find out what happens next, right? So that is coming soon, guys. I promise you. Late game is coming soon. That's one of the comments that I left, and it's a fact, right? We get the mansion out of the way, and we are good to go. And I'm, again, really looking forward to that when it comes around. So, cool. Awesome. Stick this little guy in here, and hit our 1000 MP stat, which is pretty awesome. So, now we have the requirements for the Digivolution I want to Digivolve into. Simple as that, right? We hit it almost perfectly there. Because we're starting to have our enhanced training equipment and our basically buffs that help us out when we're training, this is becoming a lot easier, okay? Now, we haven't actually bought a bunch of super carrots and hawk radishes from this guy. I said we were going to do that, and that's one of the reasons we saved up money. That's definitely coming as well. So, we will do, I think we'll buy that closer to the time, when it's time to be, when we have our champion, let's say. When we get our champion, one of our champions, we might definitely be buying up, rather, some super carrots, some hawk radishes, all that good stuff. Now, because we're training some of our other stuff here, we don't want to go over any of our other stats over 100 to complicate our Digivolution requirements. So, as it stands, we're good, but we also want to pass time and also get up some of our other training stats too. So, for now, I think that's good enough HP. Let's stick him on the treadmill and see how he gets on here. Basically, what I think I'll do, guys, is because this episode's been quite chatty so far, and we have been doing a lot of talking and kind of background stuff, I will skip to our Digivolution process for our rookie enter champion for Todd here. And when we come back, you guys will see that fresh, and we can talk a bit more about what we're going to be doing next. Because for the most part, this is just going to be a bit of a grind sesh, and there's not a lot to see here. So, I will catch you guys in just a second. You are going to see exactly what's cooking under Todd's hood, I guess. See you in a bit. Alright guys, welcome back. It is us live again, and I think that Todd is almost about to Digivolve. Now, it won't be straight away, but it will be some point during today. And maybe like, I don't even know. It could be in an hour's time, it could be in a few hours' time. Let's just see. Now, this is what his stats are looking like now. Now, as you can see, his brains and his MP are buffed well above all of his other stats. And the reason for that is because, again, we don't want to be touching over 100 in any of the other departments in case Todd Digivolves into one of our other Digimon that we're not particularly aiming for, okay? Now, the way this works with the Digivolution options is it's kind of like a point system, right? So we could technically lift all these other stats over 100 as long as the stats that we need, aka brains and MP, as long as they're still much higher than the other ones, you technically earn more points towards Digivolving, right? Now, I know that sounds quite convoluted to you guys, but I thought that doing things this way, where we just don't even touch any of the other criteria, like we don't go over 100 defense, speed, offense, and we don't go over 1000 HP, is just the easiest way to do things. It's kind of the way that you can guarantee almost the Digimon that you want. So, without further ado, we're going to do a bit more training, pass more time. When it gets to about halfway, if he hasn't Digivolved yet, halfway through the day, we'll take him to Centauromon, we'll pick up our meat and things like that. But for the most part, it should be any moment now. So that didn't proc it. Let's do one more, because why the fuck not? We could actually do another point in offense, actually. When I look across the stats, that wouldn't actually push us up and above, so we're actually hungry, so we'll do a quick feeding session. I've been trying to keep his weight somewhat regular, so run about 15-20. I think it's actually above 20. Let's check, 21. So that's actually still fine, as long as he's not over 25, I think, is what we're wanting to avoid. And we should have Todd at the perfect level. So, let's do a training session in offense, see if this procs our Digivolution. And then after this, we can also go and get our food and stuff. Right, awesome. So, we can take a trip to Vegemon, pick up our essential things, hit Centauromon, rest, and then hopefully, if that doesn't work, we'll come back, do one or two more sessions, and hopefully see if this guy Digivolves. He might even Digivolve on the way there. Who knows? Let's find out. And you guys will get to see what we're going to be turning into, because I think it's quite exciting what we're going to be doing just now. Did I look like slightly like a vampire? Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember if I've mentioned this, because I've done some pausing and stuff during this episode. if oh yeah, the reason I didn't have an episode yesterday for you guys is pretty much just because, as I said at the end of the last episode, I was helping a friend move flat, and that just meant that by the time I got home, there was no way that I would have been able to like upload and stuff in time. So rather than push the video out at a weird time when you guys were probably not expecting things, I just thought we'd have a break day. I'm obviously still recording right now, which is kind of cool and stuff, and then you guys will get the episode round about sometime tomorrow. So apologies that I missed that episode day, but hopefully you guys understand. So Digivolution time, the moment of truth. Let's see if Todd is going to behave himself. MP check, brains check, and nothing else is checked, so hopefully we're going to become exactly what we should become. Let's find out. No squeaking, always a plus. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Angemon, aka King of the Bobbleheads. So, Todd is Digivolved. Now, let's have a look at his stats real quick. We were at around 200 and everything else is shot up about 50-ish. Well, not even 50, more like 20-ish. His HP sucks, his MP kind of sucks, and his brains are okay because that's what we were training the most. Now, as you can see, Angemon is obviously a vaccine Digimon. And you may be thinking, well, Jack, I thought the whole point of this Digivolution, I thought the step in between here and Skull Greymon was to be able to enter the mansion. We can't get in the mansion with a vaccine Digimon. Jack, what have you done? Are you doing one of your famous fuck-ups, Jack? What's going on here? I am going to show you guys exactly what we're going to be doing. So, we are going to deposit a lot of important things into the bank. We're going to be depositing all of this. Move all, move all. You can kind of see what's coming here. Maybe you have no idea. Maybe this is just blowing your mind and you're like, Jack, what the fuck are you doing? You guys are going to find out. In fact, we're going to do a little trip across country to the tropical jungle, and I am going to see you guys right there. Alright guys, we back in the tropical jungle, and oh, 1 second. Oh, I'm going to have to edit this. Yep. What now? 1 second, guys. BRB. You got this, Todd. Don't let me down. Oh, Todd, you legend. You got this. Dude, I was so terrified we were going to come back and Todd was going to be splattered all over the ground there. Nice work, dude. Alright, sick. So, we're going to talk you guys through what we're actually going to be doing. Let's head on into the next area real quick. Because it is quite exciting what we're about to be getting up to. And I know I keep stringing you guys along in suspense. I know we keep messing you up a little bit. Your minds are probably going, Jack, would you just spit it out? We've been sitting here for half an hour already. Can you just show us... Oh, we've got some bull guys here. I'm going to dodge you for sure. Oh, and Todd actually doesn't like the What? Oh my god, I'm really sorry about this, guys. I'm going to be back in just a second. God damn it. I'm coming. Back. Alright boys, sorry about that. That was an accident. Somebody was shouting at me. Todd! Guys, I left for like... Boy, he was so young. Todd! Oh. Shit. Oh. Oh. Alright guys. What is happening to Todd? Dude, Todd was a savage. He done well better than I expected. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Digimon. Todd is Digivolved. Fuck yeah, he has. Let's have a look. a Devimon. Devimon's stats are almost identical to Todd's in every way, but he is now a virus-type Digimon. And virus Digimon are exactly what we need in order to 1. Get into the mansion, and 2. Evolve into either Megadramon, or Skull Greymon. Had a brain fart moment. Todd, you had to go through some chronic things. Todd's seen some dark stuff, guys. He has seen some insanely gruesome stuff. But he's back. I have never in my life had a Devimon before. Let's have a look at our chart real quick before we pick our party items again. Obviously, you guys probably know by now, but that was slightly intentional. When you are Angemon and you have less than 50% discipline, if you lose a battle, which we have never done before in this playthrough, you have a 50% chance of digivolving to Devimon. Now, we managed to hit the RNG this time around. Luckily, first time, because I didn't want to keep putting Todd through the meat grinder. But he absolutely nails it like an absolute legend. We have 2 options here in our Digivolution chart. One of those is Skull Greymon, one of those is Megadramon, and now we have basically the world as our oyster. So we are going to pick some of this back up. Definitely all of these things. Don't need that. We need our restores. Don't need that. I guess we could come back for the Mojimon stuff later. We don't need any of our chips just yet. We will keep them as a last resort. We definitely need that. We definitely need that. This, I guess. We can come back for some of these important items because we will be doing some training in a little second. But for now we're okay, and the rest is just some of our unimportant stuff. Now, I think that in our inventory that shit is all going to be jumbled to fuck, but I'm going to do a quick sort. Let me just have a check real quick. Yeah, it's actually all over the place. I'm going to sort this in just a second, and when you come back, it'll be all nice and tidy. Alright guys, we back. Now, sorry, I should probably show you guys, inventory is now tidy if any of you guys are bothered about that kind of stuff. I certainly am, because I'm just a shadow that way. Now, we need to equip some decent moves on this guy, for real, rather than just letting Todd windle his way through Tropical Jungle with no good moves, as Devimon rather is a sort of windy battle type Digimon. That's the moves we have access to, and we also have a couple of ice moves that we can go and learn at some point as well, so that'd be pretty cool. For now, we don't have a lot of mana, so we're just going to leave on, I guess, we'll leave on Sonic Jab, Megaton Punch, and Wind Cutter, I think, if we can have that. Oh, we can't. Okay, we can just put on Electric Cloud. We're not going to be doing too many. In fact, well, we are about to do some battles, but first of all, we're going to do some training first. Now, our discipline has plummeted through the floor because of this Digivolution transformation. As you can imagine, Devimon, aka Todd, is not too pleased with us, so there's a bunch of stuff that we need to be looking at in terms of training. Now, actually, this is quite a good time to go along and pick up some of our food items, because another thing that we need to pay attention to over the next few days is Todd's weight. We need to do some insane buffing, probably the most buffing we've ever done, even more than Greymon to Metal Greymon. We need to stuff this guy. This guy's weight needs to be like 50, between 50 and 60. So Sirloin can help, but more importantly, super carrots and hawk radishes. So we're going to be buying a bunch of these. This is exactly what we spent, or what we saved up our money for in Toy Town. And we're going to grind some of these into our inventory. So I guess we'll skip again when I've got 10 of each of these, and I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, we're back. We now have 10 super carrots and 10 hawk radishes. Now, because our weight needs to go up, we're going to be focusing mainly on the hawk radishes, I would imagine, and the items of stat buffing that the hawk radish is especially good for buffing is going to be, I believe it is your speed, HP, and also defense. Now, we need to get our HP, in fact, we need to get all of our statistics up, rather, but for the most part, these are the ones that we can be working on right now. Now, this guy isn't gonna, he's not hungry, so we're just gonna do this and get through our first day with this guy, because he's probably gonna go to sleep soon. I think he's actually a night Digimon, so he will probably be up a lot more than normal. As you can see, Hawk Radish throws up our HP 163. I don't know what that's in comparison to. It's usually like 100 and something. But we're going to be making big gains because we now have our food buff items. These are going to be super, super important for us, and definitely going to help us fly up the statistics that we need to get. So we're just going to do another quick training here on the boulder. We're probably going to be quite tired soon, and this guy obviously being quite an evil looking Digimon, is not ready to go to sleep just yet. That being said, he has just Digivolved. Let's actually put him under a bit more training here. We can put his speed up a little chunk. We're just basically doing a bit of a grind of his stats right now in order to get him a bit healthy, because I haven't actually mentioned this to you guys, so my bad for that, but we are actually going to be putting this guy through a bunch of battles. Now, you guys are not going to have to sit through all of these battles, luckily. I'm not that cruel. But we're going to show you where we're going to be battling. I'm going to tell you how many battles we're going to need to do, and then once all of this is done, we will come straight back to this guy. Now, we do have to do a lot of battles. In fact, that number is actually 30. We need to do 30 battles with this guy. And that is basically, 1, to get his stats up, right? 2, I guess, to earn money. But most importantly, 3, we need to be getting this guy round about the bonus Digivolution conditions for hitting our ultimate. So if we get our battles out of the way now, it means that we can relax a bit when we go on and do things. So probably, I would imagine, how this episode is going to tie up is just before we head into the mansion. And once we get in a position where we are happy with our battles, we will plonk you guys there, and then when we kick off tomorrow's episode, you guys are going to see all of that jazz, all of the glory of the mansion, and that's going to be a blast when that happens. So, for now though, we are going to do a tiny bit more grinding just to get this guy's stats up a little bit more, and then when we come back, we're going to be in our Digivolution, or sorry, we're going to be in our training spot, hoping to get to Digivolution, I guess, and then we are going to talk to you guys then. So, tiny bit of training, catch you guys in a second. Alright guys, we are back. Now, we have just done a bit of training, and I'm going to show you guys Todd's stats in just a little second. We only trained for about a day and a bit, and we're in this area of the tropical jungle. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit you guys with a battle montage before, which we have never done, but it's not going to be that exciting. I'm going to do five different training sessions in this area, then we're going to do 5 different training sessions in one of the next areas, and then finally a third area. Now, Todd's not going to get many stats from these guys as they are extremely bad, but there is 2 enemies in this area. I think there's 2 in the next area as well, and we will eventually find a third area as well, yeah, on top of that. So yeah, we just need to get through 30 battles. I won't show you the whole lot, but you guys will get a somewhat battle montage if you like. So I hope you guys enjoy, and once it's done, we will have the 30 battles that we need to do tucked in under our belt, and that will be that over and done with. We won't have to worry about that again. So with that being said, cue the battle music. I'll see you guys in a bit. By the way guys, this is Ed's stats. I said I was going to show you them, but I didn't. Here they are. This is us before we do our battles. I'll show you again afterwards. Alright guys, we are actually back now. We have just about finished all of our battle requirements. We're around about 25, I think, ish. But because we were on at MP and we were close to Freezeland, I thought I would just come in and talk to Frigimon again, because now we have Digivolved and Devimon is fine in Freezeland. He has no problems whatsoever. So let's see if Frigimon will react to this. Hello again. Remember us? We were the guy and the kid that you pulled out of the snow the other day. What happened to the other Digimon? Oh, it's the same one. He's had a couple of transformations that we won't bring up because it's still a touchy subject. Is that right? I don't get it. So Frigimon's never seen Digivolution before. I don't know. He's been living in Freezeland building his igloo and he's never seen any sort of Digimon change, which is kind of odd, but what's in it for me? Is there something interesting? So obviously we're trying to convince him to come to the city. Well, you can open any shop you want. Whoa, I always wanted to do that, apparently. Okay, that sounds good. So we facilitate Frigimon, snow cones and ice cream. This is going to be great. So apparently we're getting ice cream in File City. Not going to complain about that. Everybody loves ice cream, bro. So from here, I think, can we actually just directly autopilot? Because that would be ace. I don't want to go back outside into the nasty snow because the enemies are kicking our ass. Now, Devimon's discipline is extremely low, so we're going to use this opportunity to scold, because at some point his discipline needs to come up a decent chunk because it is through the floor right now. Again, as always, it'll go up over time, but it always kind of helps. Sometimes when you get that opportunity to scold after he refuses, you get that massive bonus. So that is awesome. So we are back in File City, and I don't think we need to do any more of our battles, to be honest. They're pretty much over and done with, and we will be doing battles in the mansion itself anyway. So it is day 5, not time for Dromojimon yet, but we could actually nip down and have a look and see if we can find Frigimon, because he should be kicking about somewhere. He said he was going to do ice cream. Well, that makes me think he's going to appear in the restaurant. So let's pop in here and see if we can find our friend. Now, off the top of my head, I can't remember what his ice cream does, but I am imagining that it gives you some sort of buffs and stuff like that. So let's talk to him. Wolfie, Todd, what's up? I decided to help at the restaurant. So again, he's another ice Digimon that's chilling in here. He's in here with Garurumon. Kind of weird that 2 ice Digimon are in here, but I guess they're not discriminating at the restaurant, which is awesome. I decided to help this restaurant and they let me make dessert. I'm really proud of it, so we'll be sure to try it. So let's see if we can actually try it right now. We can pay 300 bits, 700 bits, or 1600 bits for a snow cone. I don't think we can do this right now because, as always, Todd is never hungry. God bless, but I guess we do save what would probably be an insane amount of money. So we now have the ability to buy ice cream from the restaurant. So if Todd behaves himself and kicks us or kicks ass when we ask him to, then we can be sure to stop in there and try that shit out. So that'd be kind of cool. Let's actually see if we can rest an hour here with Centauromon. We'll let the hour tick past. Is that going to activate anything? No, he's still not hungry. Cool. Let's go to sleep, and soon it's going to be the new day. But for the most part, we can probably just walk onto the mansion. So he's actually hungry right now. Let's see if Frigimon's still on duty. I'm pretty sure it's the same as the shop where you walk in and out a bunch of times and the restaurant owners change. But we are stacked for cash, so I'm pretty sure we could buy whatever it is that we wanted to buy in here. So let's go and see who's in just now. We actually have Frigimon. Awesome. So this is perfect. Let's see. So given all of his battles that he's just done, and given his rather forced Digivolution, we're going to just straight up buy this guy snow cone and see what it does. Again, I'm not I'm not super stoked to find out what this boosts, but Todd enjoyed the snow cone. MP went up 50 and speed went up 2. Happiness went up, discipline went up, and tiredness went down. So across the board, we get a chunk of stats there now. The MP I'm pleased about. Everything else we're not too bothered about. Excuse me. We are almost, and I say almost, we actually need to buy some more MP items. So let's head along and grab some of those from the store. We will be going to sleep ASAP. So I guess we could actually pass time with Centauromon once more, but we're waiting on that. Monochromon, what's up? We're wondering if you could stack us up on some medium MPs, because we haven't got any more of those. It's actually small MPs that we've been grinding out, but really we kind of be, we should be using large ones at this point. That being said, why not? Let's just buy 10 of these to keep us afloat, because our MP still sucks a bit, but it's enough to deal with the mansion for now. So let's talk to Centauromon, grab meat, and then we will meet you guys back at the mansion, I guess. Alright guys, welcome back again. I know I've been jumping in and out a lot this episode, but here we are. We are outside the mansion. It is day 6 of year 3 at this point. This is exactly how Todd is looking right now. He is age 7, so we have roughly about 6 days before he digivolves-ish. these are what his stats are looking like. They're not amazing, but we have now done our 30 battles. They are completely out of the way, Dunzo Kurudo, and we can now rest up and prepare ourselves for next episode. So today we have been it's been a bit weird, right? We've been around the place. I honestly have no idea at this point how long this episode's been. It's probably been longer than normal, but again, there's going to be a bit of editing going on after this set to cut down all the battles, make the montage and all that stuff. But when we come back tomorrow, you guys are going to see inside the mansion for the first time. We are going to take Todd in there. We're going to pick up some hopefully new moves. We're going to find out what's going on, and we're also going to pick up a shit ton of defense chips. So I'm looking forward to that when it comes. We will see you then, and yeah, if you enjoyed the video, hit us up with a like and let us know what you thought down in the comments. Until then, see you tomorrow, guys.